Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello. There you are. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations with Deborah and Moira. We're actually talking to Deborah, not Debz.
Same thing. I'll respond to pretty much anything nowadays.
Same, but different. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. We're going to talk about strategies to live in gratitude. But before we get started, we like to just do this do an exercise to bring us into the present moment, to feel grounded and supported and connected. I like to think of this as heart coherence. So wherever you are, whether you're sitting or walking or driving or doing something, just feel the support beneath you. Feel your feet on the ground or on the floor. Feel your seat if you're sitting. And as you do this, pretend, visualize that you're dropping an anchoring cord down into Earth's core. And just allowing that to be your communication cord between you and Mother Earth. Mother Earth loves us so, so profoundly. It's such a nice thing to just anchor in and say hello. And then, of course, she says hello back. So feeling anchored, taking a nice deep breath. And if it feels comfortable, put one or both hands over your heart space, or perhaps one hand over your heart and one hand on your belly. And take a couple of nice, deep, nurturing breaths in and breathe out. And again, breathing in and breathing out, and intending that as you're anchored and grounded and just really being present to your own space, your own environment, and my voice, and this conversation that we're about to step into, that we are actually all connecting our heart energy. So you might even intend or pretend that you're breathing in and out of your heart space. And the more that we do that, the more expansive, the more connected we can feel, connected to one another and connected to the earth energy and the universe. And take one more nice deep breath. And maybe just give yourself a little bit of gratitude. Like I said, we're going to start talking about strategies to live in gratitude. Have some gratitude for yourself, for just taking that wee moment to connect to yourself, to connect to all the other people that are listening to this podcast. Regardless of space or time, we still get to connect. So taking one more nice deep breath. Let's get our tips and ideas flowing. So we encourage you to grab a note-taking device of your favorite one, pen, pencil, electronic, doesn't matter what it is. Just making some notes on these ideas. So gratitude is something that you and I both talk about so much. I think this is a perfect topic to be. Wouldn't you say so?
I know. And gratitude, like people say to me, sum up your business in 3 words or less. I love those. Don't love those people when they say that, by the way. They're like,
3 words or less.
I'm like, gratitude. That's the list. I'm like, and I just go one word, gratitude. Like people are like, how do you get rid of stress? Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Vitality's down. Gratitude. What if your money's not flowing in? Gratitude. And you literally that is the crutch of getting through life, literally getting through life. No
Mhm.
matter what's thrown at you, gratitude is so powerful. But it doesn't matter if you just do it 60%, but if
No.
you 100%, there's going to be an impact. But if you just do it 60%, there's still going to be an impact in you, within you, around you with that. But I like the way Moira actually actually there's two things I want to kick off. Two
Oh.
things I want already so many is gratitude to listeners. Did you just hear that intro? Can we just have a moment? That introduction of our voiceover and then Moira's voice, and then you got me, just nothing. But changing, there's so much that we're thankful for because our ideas are coming into fruition when you're
Mhm.
sitting in. So I just want to say thank you to our lovely Charles. Charles is his
Yes,
name.
to our introductory. I love
Yeah.
it. I hope our listeners love it as much as we do.
Yeah, we trust you. You actually went, ooh la la, there's a new, that's what I did when we got that. But one of the things going back to what Moira said is today is about strategies to live in gratitude, but I also want to acknowledge other people and not just gratitude for yourself, but gratitude for others and watching them on their journey. And I was just, my partner, I was talking to my partner the other day, and she's a football coach, football, soccer, and a sports coach, let's put it this
Yeah.
way, actually calling this empathetic passing. And empathetic passing is the actual delivery of the ball. Just, because I was like, what do you mean passing? I didn't get what you're saying because I jumped ahead and didn't listen and sit present
No, not you.
because I knew more. Let's just go there. But she said it's not just actually how you like to pass the ball. It's actually how would you like to receive it?
Mm.
And I love that idea. So it's actually, she says, don't just think about yourself, think of the other person. How do they like to receive it? What's going on in their world that they're not focused? And so thinking of the other person as well. And I think when we think gratitude, we often just put ourselves first. And I'm all for that. But also there's a level of gratitude for the other person,
Mhm.
for the other person who's on your journey with you. Have that level of gratitude for them because they may not be delivering the message you want to get it. We had a conversation off camera here literally about me sending a message that this is how I felt, but it's actually how it was delivered. If I can send that message with gratitude, it's not gonna it's not gonna be delivered with icky energy, if that all sums it up. So
Yes,
thinking also of the other person, have gratitude for them and their journey because we often don't know what they're going through.
right.
So I just want to lay that. So it's not just you as you, it's also about the other person. That makes sense, Moira?
Yeah,
Anything you
I think it's about it's that saying, walk in another person's shoes,
mm,
right? And so it's kind of like just checking in before you say something or ask something or make a request or because we are all in this together,
yeah, we
right?
are.
And so it is about being conscious of are these words that I'm about to use or that's a good analogy about the soccer. It's like is this pitch gonna be
No, when she said
received the way I want it to or the way I'd like to receive it?
it's like, that's true. I know when I say some things with love and some things I slice, fully aware. Uh, but if I can see it with love, it's received with love.
Mhm.
Because I generally, the intention is I want you to feel this, that I love you as I
Yeah,
say this, feel this. And when you're passing that, that's what you're sending. So they do receive it with
right.
love instead of ego, frustration, all those words, all
Mhm.
those, yeah. but it just allows us to really think about the other person. And when you can think about the other person, gratitude will come into play. It's just going to come so naturally because you're like, actually, you know what? I know they're going through a rough time right now, or I know this is happening. So you just instantly start sending them gratitude without you even knowing you're doing it.
Yeah. So something that as a spin-off from there that I just made a wee note of, because you know that sometimes we need to do what can some people can think of as tough love.
Yes.
You know, when you see somebody in a
Yes.
negative spiral or in a funk and they need something tough love. But what I was thinking of as you were saying this is that tough love could be dispensed with an attitude of gratitude. It's like I'm saying this because I love you.
Yeah.
And like really framing it that sometimes we can do it, right?
It's the delivery again, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
I say this because I love you and I genuinely care for you and I don't know what I can do to help you or I don't know what's going on, but I love you.
Yes.
Like, thankful for having you here.
Yeah.
It's like, what the frick is going on? Come on.
Exactly. Exactly. Smarten up.
Duh. But even also when we say those things, it's actually about yeah, it's our mood because we're frustrated, definitely. So you're not when you're delivering like that, you're not delivering in gratitude.
Yeah.
You're delivering with what and there's nothing wrong with that, but just check in with yourself. Is this yours or is this theirs?
Yeah. It's the
Yours.
sharp edges. It's the sharp edges that we got to watch for, right?
Well, I remember someone saying to me years ago, Deborah, your mouth is more powerful than your look. And I was like, well, okay, Deborah, don't say anything. Hold your tongue, hold your tongue. Said, but you say it with such deliverance. You slice people without them knowing they're sliced. And then you carry on and you walk away and they're going, wasn't she lovely? And then they start going, actually, no, she sliced me like with a cheese grate and we're slowly starting to bleed out. I was like, yeah, I can see that. Thank you. I'll take that feedback on board and I won't say I'll never do it again, but I'll be aware of it. Thank you. And even when they're saying those things to me, because that's quite a harsh thing,
Mhm.
not looking at Deborah slicing people where they slowly bleed out. For someone to describe that is pretty
Wowzers.
exactly little gratitude in that. But it is, it's about me. It's about me. It all comes back to us, I think,
Mhm.
that and it's a delivery because you when you're an a-hole, they feel that. When you're actually genuinely with gratitude, they feel that as well.
Absolutely. So that and so just as a another example of that, I'm saying my tip here is that delivery is paramount because I was just thinking many years ago, back in my corporate days, I used to run a medical clinic. And I remember the feedback that I used to get from my staff was that they used to quite like and appreciate me for the way that I would frame up requests and they would be direct, like you will do this type of direct thing. But I always did it like, could you do me a favor and do this for me?
Yeah.
And they would feel empowered and feel grateful, but they
Mm.
also knew that it was like I was it was just the way I rolled.
Yeah. But I love that and that delivery is paramount. Um, yeah, totally. I think we just seem to forget about that. But I wanted to go, so even though we're talking about strategies to live in gratitude, people, it's not just about you. Oh, I feel the pain for me even just saying that because it's all about me right now. But
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 it
it
is,
is
isn't it?
it's actually the Deborah, the deliciously motivated conversation with Deborah. No, it's
There
not.
you go.
Yeah, it's both. But I do think that delivery is when we open our eyes to a little bit more.
Mm.
Yeah. I know one of the things I've tried to pull back on is when I go to say something, I go, is this going to enhance the conversation or not? Like, is it going to take us off course? Is this actually going to enhance the conversation? And many times I just sit quietly because I'm like, you know what, this is meaningless, or I don't think this is going to be valued, or whatever. And so I'm just picking and choosing my words. I'm learning, people. I'm 52 years old. I'm learning, and if Mum's listening to this, she's like, "What? What?" I said to her for how long? But also, just if you don't think this conversation that you're going to have with somebody is going to enhance their world in any way, just reassess if it's worth it, or if it's worth doing another thing. I do believe in speaking my mind. Don't, but then write it down and then look at it. But when you're ready to look at it with gratitude, you literally come from a different part. Your whole energy is because you've actually gone back to self-reflect, back to yourself.
I agree. One of the big things that I believe about with strategies to live in gratitude is a reminder, a very powerful reminder that life is happening for us and through us. I'm just thinking of conversations where people get, so cross and upset about the discombobulation or chaos in the world, or the situations that, things not going the way that we would prefer them to, and then get all in a turmoil. It's still happening for us. I don't believe in a punishing universe. Do you?
Only when your ego gets in the way, but it's not actually, when you work through it, it's actually not punishing. It's
It's
actually
not. The universe is actually neutral. It's our interpretations and our forgetting.
You're like, how are we going to word this? It's our belief system that's stuck to us.
Yes, the BS can show up in here.
Yeah.
But it's such a, don't you think it's such a, like everything. I know for myself, I have experienced humongous turmoil and trauma and chaos and things that you think, oh my effing G, right? But stay the course and you get through the other side and go, wow, look at what I accomplished, what I experienced, or what the outcome was, or the reason behind this chaos. Do you know what I mean?
I do. And you know what I just heard? Trust.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Even if trust. Even if you don't feel like it sometimes, trust.
Yep.
Just trust. Oh, I don't believe it. Just trust. Give it a go. What's the worst can happen? Because you're already
Yep.
sitting in front that you're having to pull out the trust. So you're already in that. But trust, 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 trust. And Moira says trust is an inside job.
Yeah.
Trust, trust, trust. But I also want to say with that trust, I'm going to add another tip before I throw it back to Moira. Acknowledgement. And this acknowledgement is, look how far you've come already. You've been
Yeah.
before, you've survived, you're here. You might feel bruised and battered. You might feel that, and that's okay right now. But with what comes from trust is remembering that look how far you've come. Acknowledge it. Just stop and go, where were you a year ago? Were you not fitter? Were you like, look how far what have you endured? What have you got through? Like any of those things, now when people say things, I'm not reacting when they say something about certain things, because that's their stuff. Like, have a look. So trust goes in hand with, look how far you've come. I
Yeah.
think that's important.
Yeah.
You write it down, today I achieved these 3 things, and then come back a year later, or even a month later, or a week later, and go, oh my God, I did. That's right, I did. And that's going to remind you to trust as well, because it happens for us.
That makes you grateful right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right there. It's like, oh wow, I rock.
Oh, I can do stuff. I can. I've done it before. So
Yeah.
it's just an old story that I thought I couldn't, but I've actually survived this before.
Yeah. You know, the one that the point that I thought of when you're saying that is no comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is that sometimes we forget how auspicious and capable and and powerful we are, because we might be saying, oh, but look at what that person achieved. That's like, I haven't done that, or they're way better than me. That actually is a belittling kind of energy that's forgetting how powerful, how awesome you are.
Mm.
Right? So I'm just saying no comparison and no labeling. Like it's just saying we are all gifted and powerful and talented, right?
Yeah. I'm just giggling because I was going to say at the start, these are in no particular order. As I say that, it feels like they are.
But I trust that they are. See, there's trust right there too. They're in the order that they occur to us.
Yeah,
And who knows? Give this conversation another energy, then it might flow in a different direction.
totally. But when we're looking at no comparison and no labeling, also I want you to actually journal your gratitude, write it down. And so as much as into my notes, I've got 6,000 something notes on my iPhone that like, how many have you got there? I'm like, yeah, I know they're in there, but that's how I do stuff. But also not just type into Excel sheets or a Word document or anything like that, but handwrite. Handwrite, because your head and hand has a different feeling within your body,
Mm,
and you start to manifest at a different level. So write down, what are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? What do you appreciate right now? Um, and whether it's just to have power or to have a fresh glass of water, because there's other people out there who don't have power, and there's other people who don't have water, but also not comparing to them, but those things that we take for granted, even. So be aware of that. So journal it, write down, what are you thankful for? I know my daughter and I used to, every mealtime, we'd sit at the dinner table and say, what worked today and what didn't at school, and what worked today at work and what didn't, because it just allows you to actually think differently. And when you go, this didn't work, what could I have changed? Or
mm,
be thankful for that particular thing that's happened, because actually, you know what? It got me sitting here opening up a whole conversation with my children, or whatever that is. But, writing it down has a different level of impact into your heart. And
mm.
it's a real.
I agree with you. The other thing I was going to say about the writing by hand is a direct connection to your soul's energy, as opposed to being the mechanical, then your head's kind of in the mix, filtering things. Um, I'm a big believer in handwriting notes to yourself and journaling what you're grateful for, and journaling your feelings, right?
It's funny because I was just thinking when you were saying that, the soul connection about the head and heart, and one of my quotes that we've picked up from one of your tea bags, which I love, is may your head and heart speak with one voice.
Yeah,
So that's literally just sums that whole thing up. Then it's
it
just soul
does.
writing by your hand
Yep,
again.
yep,
Right? Another beautiful reminder.
yeah. The next strategy I would like to bring into our conversation, and this is a client of mine has been doing this practice, which I absolutely love this, is actually saying thank you to everything, to every inanimate object around you. So like, and I actually did it this morning. I said thank you to my coffee maker, and thank you to the mug that I poured the coffee into. thank you for the fridge that has my supplements in it. And so it's by saying thank you, everything, the more we do things like that, the more things that we see to say thank you to, right? It expands.
Exactly, because well, they say what you think about, you bring about.
Yep.
So when you are going, thank you for that, thank you for the internet, thank you for
Hmm.
this beautiful day or this rainy day or anything, just thank you for allowing the my pillow to wake up refreshed, or just anything, because you start doing it. I've started going back to thanking my food. Thank
Mm.
you for I'm about to bless my body with.
Yeah.
I've just doing that, and it feels, it's that word again, wholesome. Let's bring up my
This
new
is
word.
this is Deb's new word.
Yeah,
Wholesome.
who
I love
thought
it.
would have thought Deb would have the word wholesome. Really me. But it feels right. It just
Mhm.
feels, and if things don't feel right, your body will tell you. So for me, it's just this is what I do. But I love that. Everything. Be thankful for everything. Don't just skim and go, what am I thankful for? Oh, I've got nothing to be thankful for. Well, actually, you've got a brain, you've got a heart, you've got a space that's quiet for you to write this in. You
You've got
know,
voice, you've got the capacity to breathe in this
yeah.
this life. Do you know what
Yeah.
it's making me think of? The other day I was doing a grounding exercise, a wee bit similar to what I started us off with our heart coherence. But what I was doing was I was helping people, do an energy scan of themselves, and I was saying, and tell any energy that's not yours to leave, and
Yeah.
then call back all of your energy. I think I've done an exercise like that with you, Deb, not so long ago.
I was thinking that wasn't this week. That wasn't that one this week, was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Thinking, hey, this has just happened. My
But I
head's
did,
like,
I was doing it with a different group, and somebody said, so basically what I was saying is call back all energy that's yours, because whenever we go around, like in our environment, we leave little bits of our energy in
yeah,
places and people and situations. And so I was saying call it all back. And so lots of the people were on this call were saying how good it felt, and they hadn't ever really experienced that. But then the next question was, how do I know it's my energy? And my answer to that is because it feels right.
you just know.
Yes, it feels right. You just know it's like it's come home.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm just thinking it's so important to really flow
yeah,
with your own feelings and be grateful, and because it will feel like a yes. That's the other thing that I think is it does feel like a big yes, right?
yeah. That's just when you were talking about that. I donate plasma, not blood plasma, and so one of the things they do with that is they take it all out, and
Hmm.
then they filter the blood through. Look, I don't really listen. I'm just be honest with my. But this is what it
Yeah.
does. They out. They separate the plasma with the blood. They clean the blood, and they put it back into your system.
Okay.
And you can do that every 2 weeks if you're one of these particular people. And so I'm like, why would I not want to do that? If you're going to cleanse my blood and you're going to get back beautiful blood, it's like going through a filter. Why would I not want to do that? And of course, I'm helping society with the place, but I just go, oh, this is a great health thing for me. You're giving me back my cleansed blood, so you're removing the icky energy
The
type thing,
impurities.
and you're giving me back. Yeah, you're giving me that. So I'm like, definitely, I'll do that. But also, it's not icky energy. It's not icky blood. It's just no longer required for you. And
Mhm.
that's instead of just going, oh, it's bad, get it out of my system. I'm like,
Yeah. No, no, this is not good or bad when
yeah,
we're
it's
talking about this.
yeah. And I think that's the thing with gratitude. It's not good or bad, but it's just what are you going to level up with? What are you going to
Mhm.
level?
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
And I think that I love that flow with your own feelings. And I know also is listening to your body.
Yeah.
And I think that's a separate tip on its own, is just to listen to your body, because your mind can tell you lies.
And truly, I don't
Your
believe
mind,
your mind. That's
your
where the
mind,
BS, that's where the BS comes from, by the way.
your mind can go swipe left, swipe right, but
Hmm.
your will tell you if it's left, right, or standing in the middle. Your
Hmm.
body, your body won't lie to you. So recognize that evolution in you, that your body's not going to lie to you. If it feels ick, your body's going to tell you. And then you can go and work on gratitude for that ick situation and put it into a beautiful space, wrap it into a bubble. But your body is not going to lie like your mind does.
And so even that's because that's another beautiful thing to have gratitude for your body. It's with this body that we get to have this experience. And so
Yeah.
so the more we can be grateful and say thank you to our body and celebrate our body and care and nurture our body, because that's another part. Listening to your body also means you got to look after your body, right?
I
Which
think
actually,
she's actually saying that to me because the other day I said to her, I was awake for 24 hours.
yeah, yeah.
When Moira said that, I went, yeah, okay, I
Mhm.
can. And it is, okay, just nourish your body, what feels right, honor that body. If you're feeling tired, you know, assess, take some time out, reflect, go back to you. But I think that goes back to that seen, heard, acknowledged with
Mhm.
everybody.
Mhm.
As if you can see, hear, and acknowledge people, you're already instantly sitting in gratitude. Gratitude is not something you have to force.
No,
It
no,
just, it will flow, like Moira said previously, it will flow. It just comes
it's
naturally.
naturally, it's a
I
natural thing. Yeah.
can see this thing as gratitude is not something to avoid.
Mhm.
Um, and that's even, and I'm going to say, even if you're in a court case or anything, we had someone recently at a workship, they're in a court case, they're like, I can't have gratitude for this. It's like, what the heck? Look how it cemented your family and brought you back together. She's like, no, because if I have gratitude for this, the whole court case is going to change. I'm like, no, the court case is still going ahead, but you're
Right.
in complete turmoil
Mhm.
and damage your internal organs by sitting out of gratitude, because that's what happens. The more
It creates toxicity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
matter what it is, the gratitude can be in any and every situation.
Yep.
Really.
Something I wanted to bring into our conversation, and I'm surprised that we've got this far without bringing this one in, is to look after your four pillars, your PEMs, your
Oh,
physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. That actually expands your own quotient of gratitude. But always remember, it's so important. This is my whole thing about sacred self-care, is that we look after these sacred vessels, this physical form, to have experiences, but we look after our emotions because it's our emotions that help us make choices and actually feel into what we're grateful for. Looking after our mental, our mindset, that's what you're saying, where this is where the BS comes from. That's your belief systems. In your mind chatter, that it's important to dialogue with them and to actually say thank you to the inner critic or thank you for the limitation and shift it. That's the gratitude helps us shift the state, right? And then of
mhm.
course, spiritual, we are all spiritual beings. And don't know about you, but I am grateful for the physical experience that my spirit is having through this these four pillars, right?
I think the thing is, when we talk about gratitude, I love those pillars. I think when I think about it, for me, when something happens and I go, oh, well, no wonder you're cranky. No
Mhm.
wonder gratitude. Deborah, you've been awake for 24 hours.
Right, exactly.
Like we had a baby on that plane for 3.5 hours who screamed.
Mm.
Now people were losing their shite about it. The pilot apologized to everybody like it was, and I was cranky. Don't get me wrong, because I visualized getting on that plane, sleeping an overnighter. But then all of a sudden I went, you can sit on this plane, Deborah, for 3.5 hours and you can be cranky.
Yep.
Or just have gratitude and a thought about the other people on the plane, the parent, that baby,
Mhm.
all of that. And then all of a sudden I went, this is not challenging me. And it didn't take long to start thinking about the gratitude and the appreciation I was getting for having that. I mean, I was incredibly thankful I was in row 4 and not row 1, because that's where there's different levels of gratitude until it actually didn't bother me. And I just had to think of a few things that I was grateful for at that moment for myself to experience this. And then it didn't run me. And when you're sitting in gratitude,
Mm.
world, like Moira talked, the world flows with us. It's not stagnation. It's not taking you off course. It's just a beautiful place to be, that it's not controlling your mind. So it doesn't have to be a long process coming
Mhm.
into gratitude. this can be a quick process. And I tell you what, I was probably, I did share my gratitude with the lady beside me, and she's like, "Oh, this is interesting. I've never looked. This is a woman who was older than I've never looked at it that way." And anyway, she did take my card, so I had to giggle at that because I said I'm my crunch in my business.
Right.
But I mean, I definitely walked my talk at that moment. But if I didn't, I would be sitting there furiating, and that energy is not going to help anyone around or myself if I'm sitting in that place. But
Yep.
it can be a quick process, and the PEMS of that child, I don't know what had gone on before. I don't know, and I'll know. And I didn't need to know the whole thing, but I just knew that baby needed love. That parent, I suspect it was a parent. I don't know if it is a parent. I'd like to think maybe they're being, Deborah, stop that.
Yeah, yeah.
But having that appreciation for that situation just allows me to calm my farm and has that ripple effect. So I think the PEMS just goes, of course, no wonder.
Yeah.
My expectation is I expected I was going to sleep on that flight.
Right.
Well,
Well, there's
well,
another scenario happening. But the thing that I was thinking of when you were describing that, Deb, is that this is a trust thing too, because we're never in an environment or situation that's not for us. And sometimes we just have to keep holding on to that. I can't figure it out. I can't see it right now, but doesn't mean it's not there.
Well, it is that, because when people go, why do I do this? It's like, okay, let's just not look at why you're doing it. Let's just look
Yeah.
at these things, or the appreciation, or the gratitude you have for the situation. And that instantly just allows that chaos to calm down. And so it is that trust. I just trust. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, but it'll come out. It'll come out at the most perfect time. And
Absolutely. And that would be if it is a why, then how can you change that into a what? Why is this baby crying? Why is this happening? Why can't I have a sleep?
it
No,
would.
what can I do? What's the gift here? What's the opportunity? Right?
It just, excuse me, it just shifts. It just, and if you're in a funk, people feel it.
Yeah.
So if you want to change the attitude around you, or the world around you, which I suspect we all want to change the world around us in our own way,
Yep.
is walk your talk and live in gratitude. It's not as challenging as what we think.
Yeah, because we do want to have a calm, peaceful, um, balanced, kind world around us, but it all starts within. And the best way to start it is having gratitude. That's actually, and I had thought of this, I don't think we talked about this one, as the reframing your dialogue to say, what
Yeah.
I get to do this. I choose to do this. I'm
Yeah.
so excited that I get to do this. And sometimes that can just get us into that grateful flow, as opposed to, well, I have to do this, or I should do this, or right.
Yeah, and I think when we think about this, I choose to and I get to, even if you don't feel it, you can't, like, you'll even go, I say I love to. I love
Yeah,
to do that, even if I don't, but I can't say I love to and slump my shoulders over.
I
I
know.
can't, my whole body literally, as soon as I say I love to do this, my whole body just perks up.
Yep.
Like,
Changes
it
your state.
does, absolutely. Um, yeah. I think I know we're going to wrap up in a sec. One of the things I want to and would love you to implement is just for today,
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
just for today. I would love you to um,
Say
just for
thank you.
yeah, say to the next thing that you encountered. Be thankful if you're on the couch crying because you've had a funk day. Be thankful you've got a couch. Be thankful that you've got internet. Be thankful that you've got Netflix. Whatever that is, be thankful that you've got no noise and you're alone and you get to sit in your own headspace. Be thankful for, but whatever. Just for
Just
today,
for today.
I'm going to
Mhm.
start thanking appliances. I'm going to thank food. I'm going to thank the world. I'm going to thank myself for showing up. I'm going to thank myself for listening to the podcast with Debz and Moira. Like, I'm going to thank myself for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But today is just focusing down for My head just goes, just for today, just for today.
Just for today.
That's it. We better wrap up. I'm going to get ourselves in trouble because I'm the timekeeper. We know that. Just for today, Deborah, let's see if we can get the time going.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say, go back to that reframe dialogue was cancel, cancel, cancel. And
Yes.
go to the end and we talk about that. I'm going to make sure Moira brings in the cancel, cancel.
Cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yeah, because that's worth it. I'm just writing that one down. Okay. Do you want to kick this one off, Moira?
Sure. The first one we kicked this off was that we are grateful for our new intro, and we would love to hear from our listeners. What do you think from our new intro for our podcast? Because we're very grateful to our friend there, Charles.
Don't like it? That's okay. Let
That's
us
okay
know.
too. We'll be grateful for your opinion.
We're looking for that feedback. We're looking for, yeah. I know Charles, he's a darling. Thank you. The next tip is I've written down empathetic passing, and that was from we talked about
Yeah.
it's what's the other person's perception. So it's not just how you want to deliver the message or the ball as an empathetic passing or whatever. Or when you hand an item over, hand that lunchbox over or whatever. Empathetic passing, you know how you want to hand it. How would they like to receive it? Opening your eyes a little bit wider instead of it's just about me.com and empathetic person. Be aware of the other person's perception from that.
I really loved that. I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful term to keep hold of. Empathetic passing. But it could be empathetic sharing or empathetic speaking.
Just has a whole different, it's just wrapped in a beautiful bow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just it being a me, this is about me. I don't care how you need to hear it. That's what you need to hear. No, actually think about the other person. Yeah.
But that's what spawned the next tip that I shared was about tough love. I was talking about tough love when you see somebody in a funk, or is to do it with gratitude, to say, I love you and this is what I wish to see for you. So it's about cultivating gratitude in and actually embedding it in your message, in the piece that you're helping this person maybe get out of a funk or out of a stuck situation, right?
Mm,
Is
I
that
love
because sometimes we do have to dish out a wee bit of tough love, but it can be done from a space of gratitude.
Yeah. The next tip was mine, but I didn't write it down. So I don't know what that is. So I'm going to go jump to Moira's one, and then she's going to go, I didn't write it down either, or something. The next tip, and then we're going to go back to that. And Moira's one was life is happening for us. Reminding ourselves that life is happening for us, and we're better to be downstream swimming than trying to force ourselves upstream to change the ways of things. Now, if you don't know what that tip was, Moira, then just go to trust.
Well, you skipped over one that I did, but I think the one that you're referring to is you had said, is this going to enhance the conversation?
Yes, that's it.
That's it. So, and
Yeah.
because that's when you were talking about you speak your mind. But it's a real and sometimes that means just putting your hand on your heart and saying to yourself, is this going to enhance the conversation? Yes or no? And go from there.
That's the tip. That's my tip. That's right. And then did I miss another one of yours as well after?
Well, because I was saying, I gave the example of the clinic that I used to run where I said my tip was delivery is paramount. And my staff used to celebrate me in that I could make something sound like a very heartfelt request, but they knew it had to be done. Yes.
And I between Moira and I, because she delivered like that, whereas I delivered where people would say, "Oh, you're like a cheese slicer."
That's
You
right.
break the cheese and they think it's lovely and they walk away and then they're slowly bleeding out.
And they go, ow.
And then there's the difference between Moira and I, right there, right there. Yeah. The next one I have is the T word.
Trust.
Trust, trust, trust. And trust is literally for everything in every moment of the day. Trust you're in gratitude. Trust that it's working out the way it is. Trust that things are going in a way that sometimes we don't see the answer. There's, for every problem, there's a solution. Trust that even if you can't see the solution, you can only see the problem. Trust that the solution is going to appear. Trust, trust, trust. Trust yourself, trust others. It's okay. You're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. The next one from there, we talked about acknowledging, and that's kind of looking at how far you've come already and acknowledging, wow, look at all of the things that I have accomplished and I have managed to come through. And so that's actually trusting you're in the right place at the right time, but also having that mindset of I've dealt with stuff. I've come through some pretty rough stuff. We all have. And so that actually helps us stay in gratitude of like, wow, well, I'm still here. I'm still flowing.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's just even simple. That even just puts you into gratitude,
Yeah, it does.
like fully into
Yeah.
gratitude, like not just skimming. Okay, jump back, Deborah. No comparison and no labeling.
Yes.
That's it. That's
Yep.
that's a
And the finger comes up and that's it. Thou shall not.
as soon as you see it, feel it, hit it,
Cancel,
pause.
cancel, cancel.
Yeah, and that's no comparison and no labeling, because that is going to put you out of gratitude and you're not flow. You're going to be upstream trying to keep yourself up there.
Yeah. And it's just stressful. It's just, yeah.
Just
Ta,
shite.
ta.
Too much. Listen to us, and it's just shite you don't need. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep. The next one I have here, and this was Deb had said this about journaling, to note down that which you are grateful for. And that's when we talked a wee bit about the handwrite them, because that's what I said, that you're connecting with your heart energy, with your soul's energy when you actually handwrite. And I don't know about you, but I can't read my writing. So it's just that it's a process. I know that I'm in the process. If I really take my time, then I can read it back. But I know it's something very sacred.
Yeah, you don't need to either actually read it
No,
back.
no, you don't.
What's going on within you? Yeah. Thankful for every moment of the day. And this is where Moira said, she thanked her coffee machine. And I've been thanking my food. Even after I've started and I'm like, oh, it's too late to do it now. No, it's not.
Never too late.
Never too late to say thank you. So just be thankful for every moment of every day. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one I have that I made a wee note of is that I described that grounding technique where I'm encouraging people to kind of do a energy scan of their own energy and request any energy that doesn't serve them to leave. It's not saying it's bad, it's just saying leave. If it's not for my highest and best good, you tell the energy to leave, but you also call back all of your energy, because we tend to leave energy, at the grocery store or at this situation or in this conversation. So call it back, and you've called it back because it feels right. And that actually just expands the sense of gratitude. Then you're being in your wholesome self. See there, I used the word.
Just love. Maybe that's I haven't done the word of the year yet. So maybe
Maybe that's what it is.
maybe I've just implemented it without doing the work. Just
There you go.
trusted it would sit in my pile of things to do and it hasn't happened. But maybe it's wholesome.
I
But
like
even
it.
wholesome is gratitude.
Yes, it is.
Just the word is just a different level of gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The tip here is listening to your body. And this
Mm.
is where we talked about how your mind lies. Your mind tells you to swipe left, swipe right, but your body tells the truth. The body tells the truth. So not only that, when you're listening to your body, appreciate it. Appreciate that. It's giving you the butterflies for something. It's alerting you. it's making you stop, pause, and reflect. Appreciate it, because I tell you what, when you have an injury and you can't use your right hand, you got to start learning everything. You start to appreciate your right hand that you couldn't use.
Yep.
So you're not appreciating things. Often outside influences
Will remind you how important it was.
make
Is.
you. They remind you. That's exactly. Yeah. So listen to your body, people.
And from that, I brought in our 4 pillars, our PEMS check-in. So making sure that you are acknowledging your own self-worth, because when we look after ourselves on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, those are the 4 pillars of our own being.
Mm.
And that helps expand into the gratitude also, right?
Yeah. Totally. I've got I love the PEMS. I often think the PEMS. Reframing your dialogue. And when we talk about reframing your dialogue, I'm talking about I choose to do this. I get Deborah's, I love to do this. But when you say these words, you literally can't have a funk energy. It's not, you can't pretend. You say, I love to get up at 6 a.m. and talk to Moira. This is a 6 a.m. call, people, for me.
Yes, it is.
In winter. I love to, because I do love to, but if I didn't love to, even just saying that, there's a shift in my physical body.
Yep.
So read that dialogue, and I'll get Moira just to quickly explain the other part. When you do say things and it feels out of alignment or you're beating yourself up, what do you say, Moira?
I say cancel, cancel, cancel. And that brings in humor, which makes you, I smile when I say that. Cancel, cancel, cancel. It doesn't, it's taking ownership and getting you back into that. Oh, I get to do this. This is awesome. I love to do that. But if it's like, oh, because let's face it, we're human. We do things like that.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Like,
I
okay.
just say it quickly without
I
falling
know,
over you.
she cracks up.
I can't say the 3 words, and I'm okay with that. And you know what? I'm totally okay, because it literally breaks my energy, my state, and it just goes into a laughing thing for
Yep,
me.
I love it.
Yeah.
The last one I have here is you said, and I love this, is to say just for today. Just for today, I'm going to say thank you to everything I meet. Just for today, I'm going to be thankful for where I am. Just for today, I'm going to be thankful for the couch I'm sitting on,
Yeah. I
and
love
so
that.
on. Just for today. It's just such a I really feel it at my heart. Just for today. Then that takes you out of any kind of discombobulating conversation in your head. Like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do that every day.
Every day. How many hours in a day? That's
Yeah, yeah,
6
yeah. It's like, no, no, no,
hours.
no. Just for today.
Yeah, exactly. It just allows you, and you just carry on. And when the car cuts you off in front of it, just for today, I'm just going to go back to one of those tips.
Yep.
Today, and it's never too late to start. Um, so I'm going to throw this right back at Moira now for one final tip. Moira's like, okay, one final strategy to live in gratitude. What would you like to end this on before I wrap this up?
I thought you would get a giggle out of this because I kind of thought you were going to do that, but I have a teabag quote to share. Because this teabag quote says, gratitude leads to love.
Oh,
Isn't that awesome? So the more you embody these strategies to live in gratitude, the more love, the more connected to your own heart energy that you can feel. I just love that. I love that. Gratitude leads to love.
I love that. And
Yeah.
it's so simple.
So simple, it's so very true also.
Perfect. Well, listeners, there we go. That's our strategies to live in gratitude. Woo-hoo-hoo. So
Mhm.
I would love to thank you for showing up today, people, listening to us, enduring this, taking notes, whether you've taken them telepathically in your brain, heard and you've visualized things going, oh, I can see an example of that. Whatever way this was delivered to you and you received it, I want to thank you for showing up, just for today, for showing up and listening to us. But what I'm going to get you to do is I would love you to go back and just choose one tip that you're going to implement just for today. Now, there's a few tips here, so just any tip, it's going to be perfect for you. And then think about what your favorite tip is. And I'd love you to share. I'd love you to share what that tip is for us, because we are here for you, and we're gonna take your tips and we're gonna create some amazing things. So the more you can share with us what tip was your favorite here and what you're going to do, the more we can go to our next level of sharing our wisdom with you. So thank you, listeners, to listening to our strategies to live in gratitude. It's not as challenging as what you think just for today, but I want to thank Moira for showing up, because otherwise it would just be the Debz show, and that would have a different spin on it.
Certainly would.
And I want to thank Charles once again for giving us his beautiful voiceover.
Definitely.
And I want to thank you again, listeners, for being present and being part of our journey together.
Absolutely.
And I'll thank myself for showing up as well, actually, because then it would be pretty odd for Moira anyway. So, and myself.
And
so
yourself.
Thank you. Just for today. Thank you. Gratitude creates love.
Isn't that perfect? I love that. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, listeners. We'll be back again with you next time. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.